Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of December the 2nd, 2024. As you're watching this video, we are in the energy of the new moon in Sagittarius. That happened very early this morning, and this new moon is clashing with Saturn, so there's a little bit of a serious edge to this new moon, but also this whole week. Saturn is very active. And remember, Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. This can be an energy where the rules are harder to identify. There can feel like there are limitations that are not obvious. They seem to be hidden in some way, or there's a sense of them, but you can't really see them. This energy of Saturn in Pisces, I really think, is helping us, along with the Neptune in Pisces, to hone our intuition, to be able to see in the dark or through the water or through the obscurations. So I think if you do feel that sense of disconnect, to make sure that you spend plenty of time this week with your practices, with some time in contemplation. You know, I wouldn't recommend meditating if you're nervous, sad, scared, or overwhelmed, or depressed. Meditation is actually contraindicated when you're feeling that way. Meditation is more for the advanced stages. What you need to do is concentrate. What you need to do is find rhythmic movement for your body that will help you attune your mind. What you need to do is breath work or mantra. Those are some of the things that can really help you stay connected. So there will be this tendency to kind of run into roadblocks this week. Don't forget, Mercury is retrograde and Mars will station this week. And so everyone's in a phase of having to redo some things, to reconsider some pathways. So when you hit those roadblocks this week, I want you to think instead that you're being redirected for a better purpose, for a higher purpose, and to open your mind to possibility as you wade through the astrology of the week. Now, as we start on Monday, the 2nd, we do have a lovely connection between Venus and Capricorn and Uranus and Taurus. Now, this provides magical synchronicities, possibilities, shocking developments related to money, to love, to resources, maybe even to the earth herself. But these tend to be positive with trine energy. So think about how you can create a better flow or harmonious flow between the Capricorn and Taurus areas of your life. This could also be a wonderful time to do your yoga practice or get outside in nature because of this earth energy. There's some magic there. There's some possibilities there. So make sure that when you do run into something, I have clients all the time say, oh, well, that was weird. It's not weird. That's how the universe works. Once you start paying attention and plug in, synchronicity is all around you. Magic is all around you. So tune into that magic. Now, also on Monday, we want to watch because Mercury, traveling backwards in the sign of Sagittarius, is beginning to come back into an opposition with Jupiter. This could bring an overwhelm of information. This could bring a little bit of an argumentative edge, a disagreement in philosophies. This is the sign of expansion in the sign of the neighborhood and the mind and the local, and the sign of communication in the more expansive, worldly sign of Sagittarius. So if you know where that axis is, where those two energies are in your chart, see where you're being challenged to maybe be more broad-minded, but also not too forgiving or too generous, right? Where you need to maybe have some guardrails. And keep in mind, this energy is something you're going to be dealing with throughout the month, and especially because they will tangle with Saturn at the end of the week. So it adds a serious edge to some of the decisions we're needing to make. I will also mention that December is filled with moon voids, really long ones. And at the end of this recording, I'll let you know the longer ones for this week. But be sure to hop on my website. I put a blog up every month that lists the moon voids. Adapt them for your time zone so that if you do have to make a decision, sign a contract, make an important choice this month, that you do it in the energy so that it has the power to stick, to carry through, to actually happen. Okay? All right. Now, On the 3rd, we start to watch the sun coming into a square with Saturn. So the sun is in optimistic Sagittarius, worldly Sagittarius. It's a fire sign. And then here comes cold, wet Saturn in Pisces. So if you do find yourself feeling a little depleted, feeling a little exhausted, feeling like someone dumped a bucket of water on your candle, that could be this energy. So just slow down a little bit, realize that it will pass, this too will pass, but also take from it the understanding of where something needs to be strengthened, something needs to be enforced, something needs to be restructured in a better way so that it will last for the long term. That is the purpose of Saturn. Now, as we get to the middle of the week, the 4th, we have the exact Sun-Saturn square. We also have the exact Mercury-Jupiter opposition. And then Venus is going to move into a sextile, a lovely connection with Neptune. So Venus at the beginning of the week is kind of having a great time. She's really, having some positive energy at the beginning of the week. So lean into that. Could be very inspired. Could be just that it gives you just a little bit of optimism or a little bit of understanding where you can dedicate some Capricornian discipline to something and get what you want out of it. Now, on the 5th, we watch as the sun swallows Mercury. When the faster moving planets come close to the sun, sometimes that vibrant strength of that sun energy can blot out their energy or make it a little bit more erratic. And this is particularly true of Mercury and especially Mercury retrograde, right? So this whole week is definitely going to feel like a Mercury moment. But then the magic happens when the sun and Mercury meld together. They join in what we call cazimi. So on the 5th, make sure you write a little note in your journal, say, watch what happens. Watch what pops into the mind. What symbolic event occurs. What awakening do you have? A revelatory moment, a satori moment, as my teacher would say. And that could be in that Sagittarius area of life. So look for that moment. Now, that conjunction, that merging together of the sun and Mercury is moving towards a square with Saturn. So again, rules, bumping up against the reality check. At the same time, sun is starting to go across from the sky from Jupiter. So the sun is getting checked by not only the planet of restriction and limitation, but is actually getting in a tractor beam pull with the planet of optimism and expansion. So this could be really exhausting, especially for Sagittarians. The Gemini people might feel it as well. And of course, Pisces people, you're putting in the work, you know it. All right, on the 6th, Mars will pause in the sky and begin its retrograde motion. This is a long wave. When Mars retrogrades, it takes forever. It stepped into the shadow zone back in September. It's not going to get out of the shadow zone until the first week of May. So you want to watch on the 6th what happens. What happens in the Leo area of life when the planet pauses and begins to move backwards? What is it that you're going to have to redirect your energy in some way? This is a really interesting experience, right? It's like, wow, I want to achieve something. I want to get recognized for something. I want to do something that makes a mark. I want to lead, right? That's the beautiful Mars and Leo energy. But now there's a little backtracking that has to take place. But remember, life's delays are not life's denials. Now, on the 7th, Venus moves into the sign of Aquarius. And who is waiting there for her? Of course, Pluto. Pluto, newly in Aquarius. And I see this as the goddess getting taken to the underworld. That said, we have to get down with this new Aquarian energy. And so as we move through some of these first contacts of other planets with Pluto firmly committed to Aquarius, I do think this will show us the way forward in the future. I'll be intrigued to see what happens with finances, with money, with resources, because those are Venusian things. I'll be interested to see how the passions of the collective get, inspired with Venus coming in contact with Pluto. Use this energy for transformation instead of feeling like your power is being stripped away from you, right? Instead, try to step into that fearlessness of reinvention, of allowing yourself to be reborn with that Venusian energy coming through the contact with Pluto. Now, That is also the day that Neptune will pause in the sky and station direct in Pisces. Remember, Neptune's been there since 2012, and now it is beginning to pick up its movement into Aries next year. This is one of the dramatic changes of energy that we'll experience next year. So where is late Pisces in your chart and early Aries in your chart? That area is about to undergo major transformation over the next 3 to 4 months, if not the next year or two. So notice what happens when it stations. When the big outer planets station, there's a reverberation that says, hey, this is what the rest of this curriculum is going to be. So wherever that late area of Pisces is for you, notice what happens so that you can move skillfully to make those adaptations to carry you forward into the future. All right. Now, I want to point out the moon voids on the 2nd from 10:47 a.m. to 4:09 p.m. On the 4th from 6:34 p.m. to 11:21 p.m. and on the 6th from 7:01 p.m. to 4:49 a.m. on the 7th. Remember, you need to adapt those for your time zones. And if you're not sure why I'm giving you a caution on moon voids, please search my channel, or I'll drop a link below, and you can check that out to see how you're going to move forward during those time periods, because they are useful for creative work. They're wonderful for connecting to the cosmos. And if there's anything that we need to do right now is really hone our ability to find that inner anchor, the sense of self, our intuitive sense of what to do, because things are about to start changing very, very rapidly in our world. So for this week, for the light, I'm loving the Venus trine Uranus. Remember, Venus is my star and Uranus is in my sign. But I still think this is great. I mean, I think this will give us little sparks of hope. And for those who are paying attention, guidance on how to move forward. I'm also liking the Venus sextile to Neptune. The outer planets are starting to vibe. And when they do, this means that there's going to be really big change. Just because change is hard doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, so feel into that. And then also I'm observing the Neptune station. I'm really intrigued to see what these last 3 degrees of Neptune and Pisces is going to bring to the collective and to me personally. So I'm looking forward to that symbolic event. The shadow, Sun square Saturn, opposed Jupiter, Mercury square Saturn, opposed Jupiter. There's a lot of argumentative, conflict, confusing, overwhelming energy this week. So that is what we need to minimize and mitigate. I'm also keeping my eye on that Venus conjunct Pluto. I'm trying to feel positive about it. I'm feeling ready to go to the underworld, do the work and come back up, but it still scares me a little bit, Venus and Pluto. And then I'm just, all these moon voids, it's something to really pay attention to. Things are really going to start speeding up, and you want to make sure that you've made your decisions with the proper energy. And so I want you to pay attention to the moon voids. All right. Well, I hope you found this useful and helpful, and I apologize. It has been a crazy week, and I do not have time to do the tarot. I am just getting this posted tonight. So I appreciate your deep patience with me. I hope you found this useful and helpful. Please hop on the website. I'm starting a new life transformation course next month in January. Check out my Astro Veda episode with Karina Grueling. She is a Ayurvedic specialist and hormone coach. She's just incredible, and we do these monthly episodes, so that's really cool and fun. And stay steady, my friends. There's a lot of change going on. I have some pretty big news that I'm going to be sharing with you next month about myself. So I'm looking forward to helping you along your journey, and I appreciate you joining me on mine. So namaste. I wish you the best. Have a great week.